Start your week strong and live your best life. Let's make Mondays the fuel for your success journey.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Motivational Monday. My name is Eric F. King, and we have with us today Leah Garcia and Annie Usong. And we are super excited to start another week, to kick off another week. Our topic for today is how to build authority and become the go-to person in your industry or your niche. Okay. And we know that that is very important because there are a lot of people that do what you do, right? So why would people listen to you instead of listening to other people or to listening to your competitors, so to speak, right? The difference has to be in your authority, right? You have to have authority, you have to have credibility. There has to be something about you that makes you stand out so people want to hear what you have to say. They want to buy your product, buy your offer. They want to follow you. They want to share what you have, right? Things of that nature. So today we're going to dig deep into it. Definitely let us know where you are zooming in from today. Just put it in the chat. Say hi from wherever you are. Okay, wherever you are in the world, we'll shout you out. And then also, if you have any questions about this topic, put it in the chat. Just put the word question and then type out your question. All right, and we will get to it. All right, so without further ado, we're going to get started. I am going to call on our first speaker who hails out of California, where it is 4:02 in the morning right now, and she is here early to give you some incredible wisdom. Okay, she is. The reason why I bring her on these calls is because she has a wealth of knowledge, not only in her industry, which is financial, right? She's a dynasty builder. Not only in her industry, but she has a wealth of knowledge about a lot of things, including our topic today. Okay. So she's known as the dynasty builder, helps you make money, invest money, all things money. You want to contact her, you want to download her ebook, right? She's also a black belt in karate, third degree, which means she's a very disciplined person, right? Very disciplined, very hardworking. And also means you don't want to get in a fight with her if you ever meet her. Because she will body slam you. You'll be like, what? I just So anyway, without further ado, let me bring up to the stage our good friend Leah Garcia. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Eric of King of Collaboration. Well, happy Money Monday, champions. I think this is an amazing topic, how to build person in your field. If you want to be the go-to person, put in one in the chat. Listen, this is 2026. We got to come out of the shadows. We got to get in the mix. And that's how you do it. You show up in that comment currency. Well, I'm going to give you 3 golden nuggets on how you can build authority and become the expert in your field. And I'm going to call this talk Stop, Start, Continue. What do you need to stop? What do you want to start? And what are the things you're doing that you need to continue? So listen, I want you to think about it this way. We need to start checking in with ourselves, because sometimes success isn't about adding more. It's about quitting things and making stuff that's making you be confused, more clarity. So number 1, listen, stop selling vitamins, vacuums, and coconut water. Okay. Just stop trying to be everything to everyone. I see so many entrepreneurs, they haven't done anything and they're already cross-selling. They're already selling multiple things. We got to become a master of your craft. You got to sharpen your sword and become really brilliant at one lane. Some folks' LinkedIn profile looks like they need that, like it's like a clearance sale, a yard sale. Listen, they've got financial services on Monday. They're a travel agent on Tuesday. They got protein powder on Wednesday. And then they say, DM me for the next opportunity. We got to stop that, okay? You can't build trust if you have confusion. If every conversation turns into a hard sale, then you know what? You are missing the boat. You got to stop cross-selling before you've done anything. If your business card needs subtitles, we need to talk. You need to build trust to build authority. Desperate people build pressure, and pressure makes people run fast away from you, and you don't want that. You're trying to become attractive. You got to dominate your lane and be a master of your craft. Number 2, Start meditating. You know what? Thought leaders need thoughts. And how do you get thoughts if all you have is confusion? There's so many things coming at us in this world. There's emails and social media and all these things, but we need to get more clarity. You got to slow down and really clear your mind. Do you ever think about what you're thinking about? Think about that. How often do you really think about what you're thinking about? The world is loud. There's all these notifications, people arguing, people defending things. And it's like, wait a minute, we got to get clarity. So meditation isn't like becoming a monk. That's not what I mean. It's about creating enough silence to hear yourself think. You got to be able to hear your own voice. Some people don't need another podcast. They need another 5 minutes alone with their thoughts. And it doesn't have to be hours and hours. It could be just a minute, right? Focus on your breath. Just some people just can't even sit a moment in silence. So if your brain feels like a drum with a toddler banging on those drums, meditate more. Listen, meditation isn't going to solve all your problems, but panic won't either. Clarity builds confidence. Confidence improves your decisions, and better decisions create opportunity. This one is big. Number 3, continue being a maverick. And if you haven't seen my ebook, Magic Maverick and the Treasure Map, you got to check it out. It's a cartoon. It's incredible. It's really like a parable. But what I mean by this is, listen, you got to think differently. The world doesn't need another copy and paste personality. You got to be bold enough to think differently, weird enough to be remembered. Listen, I'm doing something weird right here. People think I'm crazy for being on this podcast at 4 a.m. Every time I tell somebody that, they're like, why are you doing that? What would you do that? What is Eric paying you? Like, why would you do this? You know, they don't understand it's about me becoming a better me. It is a challenge to get up at 4 a.m. And actually, I get up before 4 a.m., but it's always a challenge. And then to be able to show up here and try to give you something and deliver great value at 4 o'clock in the morning, this is not an easy thing to do. It is not an easy thing to do. So, you know what? Mavericks change their industry because they refuse to become like everyone else. Don't water yourself down. You got to be full, unfiltered you with no chaser. Some people are so busy fitting in that they disappear. Listen, you got to be the spark in the room. That's who you are. Don't be the extension cord. Mavericks get noticed. Authorities get paid. Origination creates opportunity because people remember differently. They see you differently. My good friend Americo da Costa always says, you got to be to be remembered, right? You want to be remembered, heard, and remembered. Nobody builds a dynasty like acting like everybody else. What's the one thing you need to stop, start, and continue? Ask yourself that. How are you going to become that authority? Steve Jobs put it this way: the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. And with that, I cannot wait to hear from the rest of my incredible panel. And I hand it back to you, Mr. Eric.
Awesome. That was a great way to start the day and the week. Wow, I got so many notes here. Like, don't be a cook. What do you call it? You said let's see, vacuum. You selling vacuums, coconut water, travel agents. I was laughing throughout the whole thing, but it's true. It's true. We do that. People do that all the time. It's true. So appreciate you, Leah, as always. All right, we're gonna go now from California all the way up to Europe, to London, England. And when you hear this guy's accent, you'll know that's where he is. He's not in New York City. He's in London, England. So this gentleman right here helps people to become famous, right? Especially online. He's helped me grow my LinkedIn channel by thousands and thousands of people. He's helped people write books and sell thousands and thousands of copies. Like, if you want to be famous, he's the guy you need to talk to. All right, so without further ado, Any Usong, the floor is yours.
Good morning, my friend. It's an amazing share, Queen Leah. Many of the things I want to pick on, you've started. So let me try and build on those. My friend, look, we always will want to be the go-to person in our field. We'll want to be the person who is known for what that thing that we do, right? Whatever that thing is. And as Queen Leah said, we need clarity. Jack of all trades, master of none. Now take your pick. I'm saying like, you don't want to be the jack of all trades. It can help, of course it can. But if you're doing everything, a bit of everything, then you're essentially doing a bit of nothing. Right? I think specializing, focusing is what we need to do to become an authority in any field. The first thing I would say that we need an identity. We need to be the person who does that. When I say does, that's an important word. See, a lot of people think, they think, they plan to, they want to, they wish, they dream. Unless you do, take action, implement, execute, call it what you like. Unless you do something, you're never going to be that person, because the people that are recognized for being the people that do are precisely that. They do. Often they do for a very long time in the right places to the right people. I can't say I'm a publisher unless I publish books. You can't say you're a doctor unless you actually treat people, right? I'm saying we have to get into the mode of doing rather than just talking. And so a lot of that doing comes from who we tell ourselves we are. If you want to be a doctor, look, there's no simple way. You're gonna have to walk like a doctor, think like a doctor, talk like a doctor, and do what doctors do. That's how you become an authority in the field, right? Even then, of course, there's always next level. For what I do, you want to build a legacy, a record, a receipt that you have the knowledge and the skill. That's my way of saying write a book. Kulia mentioned the ebooks. Everybody's got books. I say I've got my book, and we publish books every day. Like, books is where secrets are held, my friend. The books in the world contain all the answers in the world. So write your book. Write your book. But to write your book, you have to go back a step or two. As Queen Leah said, you can't just wake up, and you have to create something. You have to create solutions. The world needs solutions. What problems do you solve? I've known many people who are the authority in their field, but the field is not something that people are willing to invest in to solve that problem. I'm saying you want to have a definite problem that you solve. Otherwise, people can get on with their lives, and what you know and what you do doesn't make a blind bit of difference to them. Solutions to problems is where everything is at. Which leads me to modern day. In this day and age, the principle of building authority hasn't changed from maybe the last 30 years. What's that principle I hear you say? The principle is quite simple. You see, when you go online to search for something, I assume you don't just go online and randomly say, okay, I've got my device, I'm just going to scroll Google and see what happens. Let's see what I come across, right? No, that's not how we do it. We go online, we say, right, how do you do ABC, right? How do you do this? How do you do that? How do I change a plug? How do I change my gasket in the car? Yeah, right? And there's always content to help you. Someone creates that content, my friend. You need to understand the simple logic that today we need to stop creating content that's just words. We need to create content that answers people's questions. You're gonna come across this over and over and over again, because even though we're in the age of AI, Eric, still, the principle still stands. Everything still relies on you want to be the person who answers people's questions. Are you doing that? How are you doing that? So again, of course, a big part of being the person who's known for for doing that thing, is that you must show up consistently. You must show up often. It's no good if you have this great skill, this great knowledge, this great expertise, and you keep it to yourself. You need to focus on helping people solve their problems. So you need to show up. You need to keep delivering. And you need to keep helping people. Look, if you help people with the problems that they really have, they will pay you more than you expect them to pay you. So money is not the issue. The issue is who you are internally. Who are you really? Are you the person who does that thing? If you are, then do that thing. Keep serving, and people will eventually realize that you are the one. Hell, they'll even recommend you to their friends. Imagine that, right? That's when you've really arrived, when people talking about you in the rooms that you're not in. Eric, I'll leave it there for now, my friend.
All right. Thank you so much. That was incredible. Appreciate that. Wow. We got so much value in the first 15 minutes. This is powerful. So I'm going to share some things with you. First of all, I just want to shout out a few people. We have Cora from across the pond here with us today. Natasha Wilson, we see you. Good to see you. Harumi is here from Columbus. Harumi, good to see you. I think it's Narcisi. I don't know if that's how to pronounce your name, but thank you so much for being here. Now, we have a lot of people really from all over the world, but many of you have not said anything in the chat. That's why I can't see you yet. All right, so just say hi and tell us where you're zooming in from. I saw somebody right here a second ago. Maybe it'll come up again. But just say where you're zooming in from, so we can shout you out. Welcome to our event. Welcome to our family. We're here every single week, same time. All right, so let me, I just want to give you a few points. I think it's about 5 points I have. Oh, Monique, welcome. Good. Thank you for your comment also, for a New Yorker, all the way from New York. Good to see you. All right. So let's talk about building authority. All right. So first thing I want to say is this. The biggest mistake that business owners make, and not just business owners, just people in general, is they want to be all things to all people. And they assume that the more things they do, the more money they make. That's not true. That actually, the opposite is true. The opposite is true. People say, well, Eric, I want to build multiple streams of income. But here's what happens. Most of the people that try and build multiple streams of income, they really have multiple droplets of income. They're not making any money, right? If you go on someone's website and they are, like Queen Leah said, they sell vacuums, coconut water, they're travel agents, and they do Amway on the side, they're usually broke. They usually don't have much money. They may make $50 here and $100 there, but they can't go full time in anything because they're just distracted, right? So here's the deal. What determines how much you make, or what determines if you make a lot of money, is if you are able to focus on something and give so much value that people are willing to pay you a significant amount of money. That's where you actually make more money, right? When you're really good at one thing. Why is it that a specialist makes more than generalists, right? A foot doctor will make more than a family doctor any day. Like if I want to go to the doctors, and I can just walk in and talk to a family doctor anytime. But if I want to go to a specialist, they're like, oh, the next appointment is in a month. What? 30 days. Why? Because it's hard. They're more rare, right? They're more rare. They have more expertise. They have less time. They make more money, all of that, right? So it's important to be focus on one thing. Also, some of you know, so I own studiospeaking.com. So it's the #1 stage in the world now, actually, where you can get on the stage, speak about what you do to an audience, right? Share your expertise and monetize your message. The #1 reason people are the #1 way people are disqualified from speaking on my stage when they apply is they do everything. They don't have a niche, right? So I asked her, I said, hey, so what are you going to speak about? Oh, Eric, I can speak about anything. I can speak about coconut water, travel, vacuums. That means you don't qualify. That means you're not an expert. That means people won't want really have an interest in listening to you. That means I can't even refer people to you because I don't know if you're going to sell them the vacuum cleaner, if you're going to sell them the Amway, or if you're going to sell them the travel. I have no idea what you're going to do, right? So it's important to stay focused and not be so distracted by all the opportunities out there, right? They're a lot. All right, number 2, social proof. Whatever you do, you want to make sure that there is social proof out there. Social proof, I'll give you an example of social proof. So I was traveling a few months ago and wanted to stay in a hotel, and I go to the website and I don't check the information that the company, the hotel puts on their website. You know what I check? The reviews, what other people say about it. Because I like to be in hotels that are like new. It could be refurbished, but I don't like old dilapidated buildings, right? So that's what I'm looking for. And then when I saw the first five people said, oh, it was clean, it was brand new, I'm like, I'm in. I want to stay here, right? The reviews, the testimonials, that's powerful. When you go to my website, studiospeaking.com, we have 40 testimonials, which means 40 people said, I love this. Eric did exactly what he said he was going to do. And a lot of times when I meet with people, they tell me they're ready to speak on the stage. They don't really need me to say much because they've watched the testimonials, right? So you want to have testimonials of people that have benefited from your service, from your products, from your offer. Okay. People will listen to third-party testimonials way more than they'll listen to your first-party voice any day. Wow, I should make that a flyer or something. I don't remember what I said, but I know it was good. All right. So the next one, you need to speak on stages. You need people to see you. That makes you an authority. And when I say stages, I don't just mean lives. Lives is great, but when I say stages, I mean other people's stages, other people's podcasts, other people's events, right? I know Annie does those. I know Queen Leah does those, right? On my stage, right? My studio, right? You need to speak on other people's stages. That when people see you on other people's stages, it gives you credibility. And then remember too, when you speak on other people's stages, they edify you, which means they build you up, right? They say, so our next, just like I did for Queen Leah and Annie, right? I talked about how incredible they are, what they do before they even said a word. So if you've never met them before and you heard me talking about Queen Leah, before she opens her mouth to say a word, you're like, wow, she's incredible. She helps so many people. She's a financial expert. Why? Because I built her up. I edified her. That's why you want to get on other people's stages. Okay. Another thing you want to do is you want to post clips and footage of you doing what you say you do. Clips and footage of you doing what you say you do. So there's a lady I know who's a caterer, and she's really good. She makes mostly African dishes. And so she was asking me, she said, so what do you think I can do to get more business? I said, well, why don't you just share videos, clips of you cooking and buying your ingredients and delivering food and, put it online. And she did that. And her audience started to grow and grow. And she said, I'm getting so much business from this because people see her as an expert. She's the expert, right? That's important. So video footage of what you do, the process. Okay. Even when you're meeting with people, do you know you can do a video of you meeting with someone without the audio and just show you show yourself meeting with clients, and they're like, wow. Obviously you have to let them know that they're going to be on video, but you know what I mean? It shows that you're doing what you say you're going to do. And then also interviews, right? You want to be on interviews. You want people to interview you so they can hear again about how good you are at what you do. So those are a few points that I know can help you. I know can help you, right? I know can help you. All right, thank you so much, Eddie, for clapping. Appreciate that. So what we're going to do now, before we get to the question, and we're going to get to the question very soon, by the way. What we're going to do is we're going to go around the room and share with you what exactly we do and how we help our clients. Okay, that's very important for you to know who you're listening to today. Okay, so since I have the mic, I'll just start and then we'll go around the room. As I said earlier, I am the founder and owner and CEO of StudioSpeaking.com. Oh, by the way, I see my sister in the chat. Hi, Yinka. How are you? All the way from Canada. You see how I get distracted? Good to see you. Awima is here. I see. Lord have mercy. Vanita is here. She's going to be speaking on my stage. Yes. She's going to be speaking very soon on my stage. Good to see you. Wow. We have so many people here. Not everybody. I told you got to put your say something. Now I can't even get to you all. Let's see. Robert Kennedy is here, passing through. Great to see you, my friend. One of the best speakers in the world right there. If you want to learn how to speak in front of the group, you need to contact Robert Kennedy. That's for sure. All right, so let's get back so I don't get distracted. I talk about not getting distracted, and I don't know anybody that gets distracted more than I do. I really don't. All right, so let's get going. All right. StudioSpeaking.com. I created this business because I wanted to help speakers, coaches, and authors to share their expertise, to have a stage to be able to actually share what they do with masses of people, right? They come into my studio, they're able to share this. People come on from all over the world, and they're able to share their knowledge, and then they're able to monetize because they can share. This is how you buy my book. This is how you get my coaching, right? Whatever it is, right? Monetize that message. But then when I did this, then people would ask me questions like, so Eric, would I get the video clips from this event? And I said, sure. So we started not only giving them the video, but doing it done for you, right? Where you don't have to do editing or anything, right? Very professional. Then someone said, well, Eric, do you do photo shoots? I said, no, but we can. So guess what? We do a photo shoot now, right? Very professional photo shoot, right? So you have pictures that need more pictures than you can handle. So then people said, well, so at lunchtime, where do we go? I said, well, you know what? Well, I'll go out. So now we go out for breakfast, we go out to the restaurant for lunch, we go out for dinner, like we're all hanging out for a couple of days, right? And then they said, well, so am I going to be a part of a community? I said, oh, you want to? I started a community. So every speaker, coach, and author you've seen on my stage, you'll be part of our community, right? You'll be able to connect with us every day. You'll be able to promote your business every week, right? And much, much, much more, right? I help you build your authority, your credibility, and visibility. Exactly what we're talking about today. So if you are interested in speaking or learning more about it, go to studiospeaking.com. You'll see a 4-minute video. 4-minute video, brilliantly done. I may say so myself. I didn't do it, but somebody else did it. Brilliantly done. 4-minute video. It will blow you away, and you'll learn more about it. And if you're interested in speaking, book a call, and I will talk to you personally. All right. So let's keep going. We are going to go now to none other than Queen Leah in California to tell you about what she's doing now, how she helps people. Go ahead, Queen Leah.
Thank you so much, Eric. Yeah, you were dropping some gold there. I put your comments in the comments, so make sure you highlight them. Also to our one and only fame expert, Annie. I got some great golden nuggets from both of you already. So my name is Leah Garcia, and I'm the Dynasty Builder. Listen, a lot of financial wealth management, they teach you how to build wealth. I teach you how to protect, distribute, and transfer that wealth and build a family dynasty. And really, anyone can do that. You don't have to need to have mounds and mounds of money. You can start from where you are and truly be the one in your family that changes your last name forever. And I host Wealthy Wednesday every single Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, always looking for thought leaders and speakers. If you're looking for a smaller stage before you get to the big stage with Eric, I'd love to chat with you. And then I just dropped Magic Maverick and the Treasure Map. And I want to address something, a comment that someone made. They said, you know what? I don't agree. I think it's by Monique Lewis. When I talked about you don't want to sell vitamins, vacuums, and coconut water. Okay, I'm going to ask you to think about it this way. When you're selling so many different things, you're changing gears all the time. And that's very difficult to stay focused because we see squirrels everywhere. Okay. We're all squirrel chasers. Okay. But that's why social media is so, it's so successful. But think about it this way. Instead of doing different things, how else can you build multiple streams of income in what you do? And this is what I mean by that. Maybe your wealth management, maybe you're selling those vitamin water. Okay. Maybe you're selling coconut water. Now do a podcast about coconut water. Write articles about a coconut water. Tell people if you sit with them for 5 minutes, you're going to help do a deep dive about the coconut water that they need for you. Charge them $5 for that, $50 for that. I don't know what you charge. Make t-shirts about coconut water. Sell those t-shirts, right? There's so many ways that if you're an expert, you can deep dive and peel back that onion and find multiple layers of income within your own lane. With that, I want to hear from Annie. Godfather, drop it on us. What are you doing? What are you up to?
Yeah, so it is good at going deep rather than going broad, right? That's really important. Look, I have to say I'm having great days doing what I do, which is why this topic resonates with me so much. So I help people to write their books, publish their books, and sell their books. Of course, the part of the remit is to create a legacy for my author friends, for them to build authority, visibility, and I guess have a solution that the world really needs, which is in their book, which is where we'll have to go. Apart from doing the books, I said, this question again comes back to me because we're doing a masterclass to help people to stand out in the age of AI. With AI, people are searching for you on AI these days. That means if you're just on social media, how they ever going to find you? LinkedIn has 1 billion users. There's 10 billion people in the world. Simple maths, right? You're missing most of them. You need to understand how AI can help you to gain visibility, gain authority, trust, and all the things that kind of get people doing business with you. So we've said that masterclass is on the 27th of May, 3 hours. Come and learn how to be the definitive AI answer to people who are searching for you as questions. That's me, Eric. I do many great things, but of course, we're here to help people, right? That's what we're here to help people do. So,
absolutely. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate that. Great nuggets, folks. You two help so many people every day, and that's why I'm so happy to promote you on my podcast. So we're going to get to some questions. Let's see. By the way, keep putting your chat in there. Keep saying hi, because I know, again, a lot of people on LinkedIn, on YouTube right now, but are not saying anything. You're being quiet. I'm not asking you to give a speech. All I'm saying, just say hi. Just say, yeah, hey, I'm here from wherever, right? Just let us know where you're here.
That's so good.
That's all. Just, hey, I'm here. So awesome. And you say, well, Eric, I'm too shy. Well, this is a great time to get over your shyness. This is a great time. You know what I mean? Great time. All right. So we're going to go to questions. And I'm going to start with this question here from, let's see, I had it here. Okay, from Natasha. She says, Is becoming a content creator the most effective way to build authority and visibility nowadays? Or are there other ways that can be effective for different types of people? That is an incredible question from Natasha Wilson, PhD. All right. So we're going to go to our panelists first. Aaliyah, Annie, then I definitely have something to say about that.
Yeah, incredible question. I love this question. So I would say if you don't create your own content, write a book. Get with Godfather, write a book, become an authority, an expert in your field. And you do, in my humble opinion, you got to have a presence on social media. So you got to have a presence, right? And LinkedIn to me is a foundation. So you got to have your foundation done. You want to actually have your LinkedIn profile optimized, even if you're not creating a lot of content. And then you want to become a guest speaker everywhere and anywhere that you can, reply to other people's comments so that people get to know you and they get to see your brilliance, right? Give yourself an opportunity in reposting other people's comments and content and then adding your thoughts. So if you don't want to be out there generating a lot of content, those are some things that you could do. But I know Godfather has tons of golden nuggets on this one. What do you say, Godfather? Drop some wisdom on us.
Interesting one. Look, there's lots of content out there. I mean, think of the internet is full of data and content, videos, words, right? Now, the thing is not to just add to the noise. Natasha, the thing, like I said earlier, is to create content that your ideal client is searching for. And there's no way of looking at it other than to say to you, create content that answers questions. I'll keep saying it until I probably go grey. I'm grey already, right? But literally, think the way you use the internet is by asking questions, and people answer those questions. Why are you not the person that answers those questions? Why are we not those people? Let's become the people who actually are there. Let's create content that's very, very specific and very, almost, look, the simple way. If you're going to write a blog, we just used to writing a long dump of words, right? Don't do that anymore. Don't do that. The first paragraph has to answer the question, and then the rest of it might explain how you get to that answer. That's how the search engines read our content these days. Of course, I would say, as Queen Leah said, if you don't show up, if you don't make videos, if you're working in secret, good luck with that. You need people to know you're there. So you need to actually be there. And content is what people consume. It's what the search engines read. It's what people look for. Content is everything. It's everything from words to videos to even the testimonials, as Eric mentioned earlier. I'm saying you have to create. It's creating an all-round presence that works together, that's coherent, rather than creating bits of. Then you get known for nothing. Again, I'll leave it there, Eric. Awesome. Please delight us, Eric. You know better than me, so.
Look, we're all in this together. there are things that I don't know at all. Okay, so all right, great question, Natasha. First of all, I feel that content is one of the best things you can do to build your business online. Okay, definitely, without a doubt. However, is it the only thing? No. Right. So let me tell you, first of all, the benefit of content. I was on a Zoom call with a lady who was thinking about speaking on my stage. And so we had a 30-minute meeting. So in the first 8 minutes, I'm just learning about her, what she speaks about, what she does, what her goals are. And then she told me, she said, "Oh, Eric, I forgot I have to go pick up my son." So she said she had to leave. So she said, "Okay, so Eric, can you just put the link in the chat so I just pay for it and then we'll talk later?" So she pays, right, to speak on my stage. And later, when we actually meet, I asked her, I said, "So why would you pay for it when I never even told you the details? Like, I never even told you everything you're going to get." She said, "Because I see you all the time. I see your content. I see that you help people. I see what you do. So I didn't really need to see all of that." I was ready to go. That, you see, that is the benefit of content, right? That is the benefit of content. People get to know you before they even meet you. Okay, so it's very important. Now, are there other things you can do? Absolutely. You can, when you go on when you do interviews and podcasts and stuff like that, that's really all content as well, right? That's really all because you're putting it online, right? So again, it's hard to build a big business without any kind of content, right? You can make calls every day, but who are you going to call? Right? Right. Back in the day, we had those yellow pages. Clelia remembers. I mean, we just call names like it was a book for you young folks. It was a book that had all the names and numbers of everybody. And you pick it up and you just start calling, and people are hanging up, hanging up, hanging up, hanging up. You get like 99.9 hang-ups, right? So that was hard back then, right? Or you do ads, right? You can do ads. But they're not cheap, but you can do ads. That's another way to do it. But content is really the easiest, I think, and gets to the most people faster. Like I can do a video right now and it gets to 400, 500, 600 people by the end of the day, right? So that's why it's so important. So I think the question that most people should ask is not, is there anything else? But the question should be, how can I get it done? How can I get it done? Some of you don't like doing videos yet, and that's okay. Do you know there are pages with 500,000 followers and they don't actually do videos of themselves? You can do voiceovers, right? Where you are, like I said, doing what you do every day, in a video, but you're not talking. And then on the voiceover where you're talking about what you do. So you can literally do a video without speaking on camera. It's hard for me because I think I'm frozen. So all the things I'm showing you can't even see it. But use your imagination, all right? Use your imagination. So you can do voiceovers where in the background someone you're talking, right? But find a way. There are faceless pages where you're not even showing your face, but you're still sharing content, right? So there are a lot of ways. Get creative about it and find a way to produce content. That's what I would say. Instead of trying to find an alternative, that is actually the best way nowadays, right? That's the best way. All right, great question. All right, so let's go to another question. Let's see.
While you're looking for a
Yeah, go
question,
ahead.
Eric, I want to highlight this comment by the great Jackie Hallberg. She said, get on shows even when the topic may not seem right. And I absolutely love that because you know what? When you're an expert, any turn into your topic. We're going to talk about apples. I can tell you a story about an apple tree and how that's going to build your family dynasty. Listen, when you're an expert and a master of your craft, every conversation can be your vitamin water conversation. So let's hear for another question, Eric. What do you got for us?
Awesome. Thank you so much. Question from Coral. What type of content creates the trust and credibility in a niche today? So what type of content creates the trust and credibility in your niche today? Queen Leah, you can start if you want.
Yes, really being able to talk on every topic. It's really what we just talked about. People can hear you on your static podcast. Maybe it's pre-recorded and you can edit it. They can see these beautiful posts that you had ChatGPT help you create and all these things. But how do you show up authentically at 4 a.m.? How do you show up when the topic is apples and vitamin water? And how do you show up and contribute to that? Can you speak intelligently? Are you someone who can articulate your words, or are you sounding like you've got a mouthful of marbles? People want to know who you are and get to know your personality, and they're going to see you if they see you in different spaces and places, they get to see who you are. They see me in different places, and then, they see Godfather. He always shows up the same way. He's always got the same kind of jokes. We always know what his personality. He's always edifying everyone so beautifully. And that's what we love and adore about him. Every time we see him, he shows up the same way. So how do you show up? Do you only show up excited when it's all about you? Do you only show up with words when it's all pre-recorded and pre-rehearsed? Can you think on your feet? That's a great question. I love it. But I know Godfather's got some golden bars for us. I want to hear from the Godfather.
I like that. I do like that. Look, no, the key words for me is trust and credibility. And so again, I'm sure we've all been online for a very long time, all of us, years, right? I've been online for donkeys of years, and for the longest time, all I got was tumbleweed. Some likes, some comments, some shares. That doesn't bring the money in, my friends. It doesn't get. It's a start. It doesn't get you anywhere, really, right? So the only thing that has changed that is these events. So I remember I was aware of LinkedIn when I saw that LinkedIn was coming in with LinkedIn audio. Right? This was about 4 years ago. So and literally from that day on, I realized this was the quickest way for people to see you, hear you, feel you, and they can work out instantly. Do I like you? Do I trust you? Do you know what you're talking about? Now, Cornelia, you made me laugh because it's always been a bug of mine. How comes I can waffle in any room I go into? And I mean, you just answered it really. If you know your stuff, then you can communicate in any environment, in any space, because your core message does not change. If you listen to me enough, you realize I say the same thing in different spaces, just adapted to the space I'm in. I'm saying, that's the reality of how we have to show up today. Don't ignore video events, don't ignore live stream events, don't ignore audio events, because it's the quickest way for you to get seen, and people can work out that they like you and trust you instantly.
Awesome.
And if no one sees you, then they can never decide that they'll never get to know you. The personality Queen Leah just mentioned thing doesn't happen. On paper, it doesn't happen because everyone. But you need paper because the search engines, the machines only read content. They read words.
Right. That's right. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Great feedback. Great points there. What types of content create trust? It's really everything. It's really everything, right? One thing that one of my mentors in social media told me, she said, Eric, you are over analyzing this too much. Just do videos on everything and show it. I'm like, really? It's not easy, right? Like, I did a video of when I was I had an event. I did a video of me walking into my hotel room before the event, sitting down, opening up my computer, and that video got hundreds or maybe even thousands of views. And I'm like, that I wasn't even training or anything, right? So you never know. You never know what it is. So show video of different parts of your business, your personal life. Like, I don't really get that personal online, but I have shown videos of me in a restaurant eating and taking a walk. Things like that actually get people to know, like, and trust you, because they're like, you're human, you're real, you're doing what they do, you're doing what they want to do. Sometimes I do videos of me walking by the beach, right? And then just have a voiceover talking. I'm actually going to do one probably next couple of days, right? So yeah, so all kinds of content is good. It's great. It's great. You just want people to see that you're human, right? That you live your life like everybody else. Great question. Here's another one, folks. Here's another one. How can entrepreneurs build authority when they're still early in their journey and don't yet have massive results or a big audience? That's a great question, because a lot of people think that if you don't have a big audience, that you can't do any of this. And they forget that everybody started with no audience. I started with one. I was doing calls like this, and there was one person, and usually it was Coral. That's why we work together right now, because she was the only one that believed in me in the whole world. And sometimes my sister Yinka was on there. So I don't want to get sidetracked. So let me go to Leah, and Leah was one of my first also on the call. Her and I used to do the call, just her and I. So yeah, Leah, go ahead, you can share.
This is such a great question. And you got to become a master of your craft as quickly as possible. That's why you don't want to start selling all these different things. Find one thing, one phrase, one thought, one topic, one product, and talk about it over and over and over again. Listen, you might think that you're just saying the same thing over and over again, but people are going to hear it differently. They need to hear you different ways. So times, and don't be afraid to really just say the same thing over and over again. It's going to take time. It doesn't happen instantly. I know people want instant microwave answer, but the truth is to really build a time, and you've got to become a master of something. It's absolutely true. I know that's hard to hear because we all have so many thoughts. We have so many things we want to do and talk about. But when we're talking about too many things all the time, especially in the beginning, you're going to confuse people. What do you have to say about this amazing question, Godfather?
It is an amazing. It is a great question. Look, again, I mentioned tumbleweed when no one was listening to what I was doing online. As Eric says, we'll start there. We'll start with one. Normally we'll start with 0 and then work our way up, right? So when I do these events, when I make a video, I'm talking to one person. Think of that for a second. You're talking to one person. You don't need a big audience. You need someone to benefit from your input. And someone to benefit from what you share, from what you write, from what you say, from what you do, from seeing you today. That one person becomes 2, then suddenly it'd be exponential growth. If you're still earning your journey, my friends, look, the trick is don't just flood the world with content. That's not going to work. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Think of that for a second, right? Who do you know? How do you get to know people, Coral? The simple answer is you have to meet them. Get to know, talk to them. You need to actually get to know them. You need to get to know what their real problems are. If that's one person, if that's 3 people, that's 5 people, that's where you start. From there, you can begin to help people, often, consistently, in the same way. That's how you build a big audience in the end, right? By serving people individually, then suddenly it becomes a group thing, a community, as Eric mentioned earlier as well. Literally work your way up. A lot of people want to be serving millions on day one. It's not going to happen. You have to earn your stripes and get your receipts on that journey. That's how you build a big audience that you get to serve, right?
Awesome. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for those comments. Queen Leah, thank you so much. How do you build authority when you are early in your journey? Well, you just start. You start, okay? You start. You say, you get on someone's podcast. They say, well, I don't have a lot of viewers. It doesn't matter, right? Here's the thing. Look at it as reps. So one of my sons is a very competitive soccer player. And, I travel all over the region, taking him to the soccer games. And, he has practice, but then he practices before practice. And then he plays the game. Then the next day he practices before practice, right? It's the reps, right? So you just do it over and over and over and over. Don't even analyze like they said I used to do. I probably still do sometimes. Don't overanalyze. Get on a podcast. Get on another one. You know how easy it is to get on podcasts? Oh my goodness. Go to LinkedIn, type in the search bar, podcast hosts or podcaster or something like that. You will get a list of hundreds of people that have podcasts. Send a message to 10, 15 of them. I'd love to be on a podcast. Half of them will get back to you. Let's do it. Let's go. Like, it's easy. Don't overthink it. Okay. Go to Facebook. Go to Facebook. Go onto podcast guesting or podcast host or something like that. You'll see websites where they just want people. They're looking for guests. Anybody on this call can be on 3 podcasts this week, without a doubt. without a doubt, right? Put in the reps, right? Just start doing it. Start doing it. Just like Queen Leah said, maybe you're not ready to be on a stage or in front of a lot of people. Start somewhere. Start somewhere, right? Before I wrote my book, I didn't know anything about books, right? So what did I do? I got online and I typed in, how do I write a book? I watched the video. That video led me to a guy who helped me to write my first book, right? It's like, if you take a step, then you're getting closer to achieving your goal. Just take a step. Just take a step, right? All right, so we got like 4 minutes. I don't know if we have time. Well, I guess we have time for one more. So what we'll do is, in this last 4 minutes, I'm just gonna have my my panelists maybe share a little bit about this question, and then just end with what they do, right? Again, just so people know what they do. Maybe last words in 4 minutes, and we will let you out of here by 8 a.m. for sure. We always make sure we get here. We finish on time so people can go to work, go to school, go to wherever they have to do, take their kids to school, whatever they have to do. All right, so Queen Leah, go ahead. Oh, here's a question, by the way.
Yeah.
Once you're established authority, how do you maintain the go-to expert as trends change? How do you maintain the go-to expert, being a go-to expert as trends change? Go ahead.
You know what? This is a deep question. I'm going to say it this way: meditate. I'm going to tell you that so many concepts come to me by sitting in silence, and then suddenly I post it somewhere and I see it everywhere. So I hope that helps. What do you say, Godfather? We got like 30 seconds.
Yeah, definitely helps. Look, my friend, it's quite simple, right? My wife says you get 15 minutes of fame. I think you can have a lifetime of fame if you choose to have it, right? And the way you have it is by consistently and constantly improving your solution. The solution you have today is not the greatest in the world, I promise you, right? Your job, as Queen Leah says, focus your mind, think about it, and then keep improving. How can I serve more people with this solution? How can more people benefit? That's the question you want to ask yourself, and keep working on that. That can take your whole lifetime, right? Eric, what will we miss, my friend? What will we miss in our answers?
Awesome. Thank you. No, you didn't miss anything. You didn't miss anything. Yeah. To be the go-to expert, again, you don't have to try and figure everything out. Okay. Just do what you do. Get on these calls, these podcasts, these stages, and share what you do. And as you go, you'll learn what you need to do with regards to trending new trends. Okay. So it's not a problem. It's just, you just flow with it. Okay. You flow with it. All right. So, in conclusion, we got 2 minutes. So for those of you, like I said, some people are not ready to speak, but you want information on building a business. I created an ebook on 100 ways to market your business, 100 ways to get more sales, 100 ways to get more eyeballs in your business. And I'm going to put it in the chat right now. Okay. Go to successwitheric.com /100, and you will get my free ebook. Okay. Success with Eric. Eric is eric.com /100, and you will get my free ebook on how to build a big business, no matter what you do. All right. Thanks again, everybody. Thanks for jumping on. Vanita is here. Yes, Vanita, she says, I help people that have low self-esteem and low confidence rebuild their worth. Yeah, and she's going to talk about that on my stage. In about 30 days, she's going to be on my stage, and you will see her live. Welcome to those people that I did not mention. Jackie, good to see you. Margaret, good to see you. Margaret Martinez, King Property, good to see you. Appreciate you guys. And we will be here, like I said, next week. We're here every week, same time, same place, 7 a.m. Eastern time. Make sure you share this, folks. Share this video with your friends. Share this on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. Tell people the good news about what we do for people every day. It's free for you guys, but we spend a lot of time putting this together, right? But we do it for you. So if you can just share this with as many people as you can, and then we will see you back here same time next week. All right. It has been a pleasing pleasure and a privilege to be here with you this morning. Make it a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.